I was born in a little town in South Africa called Fort Beaufort. At the age of 3, my grandparents sent me to Rhodesia and I grew up there.
I was born in East London in the Mater Dei Hospital in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. Not a wonderful childhood, but it was lovely growing up in East London. Oh, yeah, I met him when I was 15 and we were going to church. After about 6 months I decided that he may come and have a cup of tea at our home. And then I decided I liked him.
And my stepmother said, Bonnie, I just want to introduce you to these 3 girls. And I turned around and there was Joy and her 2 stepsisters. And I looked in Joy's eyes and I said to myself, that's the girl I'm going to marry. And it turned out we got to know each other reasonably well. Joy's stepsister approached me and said, Joy asked if you'd like to come up to our house for a cup of tea or coffee. And I said to myself, well, this is it. And that was the beginning of the relationship, really.
It was very difficult. We were only allowed to see each other on the weekend. And he had to go home at 9:45 at night and on a Wednesday night. And we weren't allowed to drive anywhere together alone. We had to have one of the sisters with us to chaperone us.
When I decided that I was going to ask if I could marry Joy, I was very scared to approach him. Had to lie to him because he wanted to know how much I earned. The day we got married, he said, okay, now your children are married, you're on your own, don't expect anything from me.
We got married in East London, in the church where we met. We had a simple church wedding and a home reception.
We decided that we would not be able to afford children because we were really struggling financially. I wasn't earning much money. It just so happened she fell pregnant almost immediately because of our ignorance.
I was supposed to be working for 2 years and I had to stop working, and that was Miss Lizelle.
And we struggled in our early years, but as time went on, I studied, got better jobs, started earning more money, moved around to better places and achieved most of our goals.
And then after I had Lizelle, and then the next one was Chantel. And now I love my kids when they were little. And then they grew up. No, I still love my kids. There's no fondest, it's all good memories.
They were both very loving, caring, never gave us any cheek, never gave us a hard time. They were a pleasure to take out to visit friends.
Very extremely well behaved were my children. They were. I can't say anything else, they were.
I could tell and see that there was no future for South Africa for a woman and children. I loved South Africa, always have, always will. But I decided that I would apply to come to Australia.
It took 6 years for them to approve for us to come. So then Lizelle started working and she decided that she'd rather get married and stay there and not come with.
And I remember saying to her that she mustn't feel that we're leaving her, but we are going to find a place where she can also be happy one day.
For the first 2 years it wasn't very easy. It was nice being here. It was lovely being here, but you miss everybody at home. Then you become, it's like home. You don't want to go back there.
And once we got to Australia, she said, I love it here and I'm not going back. And that kept me in Australia.
Everyone grew up, and then Chantel got her own home. And then she met Don and she got married to Don. And then just before that, Lizelle and the boys were all here, so it was all good.
Lizelle and Chantel said, well, what are we going to do for Mom's birthday? So I said, well, why don't we all put some money together? I'll pay a third and you each pay a third for her, Joy and I to go to Noosa on holiday. Loved it. And tried to come back every year whenever we could afford it.
After about the 4th or the 5th time we said we must come and live here one day. Until everybody grew far apart and then we came here.
Got to Noosa, got a lovely place to stay, bought it, had no regrets whatsoever. And then probably about a month after our arrival, Joy started feeling a little bit off.
I was just feeling sick and getting nauseous and diarrhea, and then eventually I went a bit yellow. I thought I was suntanned.
And I said, geez, you're totally yellow. Your eyes are yellow, your skin is yellow. I've never seen that before.
So he rushed me to the emergency, and then he thought I had gallstones. I saw I had gallstones from the scan. So they looked for the gallstones, but then they found the growth.
The next thing I heard, they said she had cancer. Very difficult. It was a shock for me specifically because she was the one in the family. Just
so they took part of the growth to test, and then I had to go home after that and wait for the next step.
Joy was always the one in the family that ate healthily. She did all the right things, ate all the fruit, ate all the vegetables. So if anyone had ever said to me, who's going to be the first one to get a serious illness in your family, I would never have picked her. Anyway, the doctor that I spoke to at that stage basically said, look, there's no hope and she's not going to be around for much longer. Turned out that what they decided was they would operate. It turned out, however, that they did not get all the cancer, so they removed the gallbladder, bile duct, half of the pancreas. But she came through that very well.
I haven't found it a challenge at all. Not at all. It's just an experience you go through. I really haven't found it a challenge. It's got to be part of your journey. You've got to learn from these things. You don't fight them, you go with the flow and accept your challenge.
Joy is very positive. She came through the operation better than, well, according to the surgeon, better than anyone else he's ever seen. She's gone through the radiation better than they said she would. Still got chemo to go, but there are some positive signs. And we can just build on that and hope for the best.
You've got to do what you've got to do and love what you're doing. That's all I can say. It's different for everybody.
Joy and I stayed together for so long because we were meant to be. When I was a young boy, I always had a dream that I'm going to find the woman of my dreams. It worked out that way. I looked into her eyes when I first saw her, said, that's the woman I'm going to marry.
Was love, because we love each other and we put up with each other's nonsense and we work through things, talk, converse, don't get angry, get over it and carry on.
And we have stuck at it through thick and through thin and have no regrets.
You just hear each one for their own journey and to make the best of what you've got on this journey and enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, darling.